But Deku, this nightmare didn't leave him scared. This nightmare left him angry. As he would get out of bed, looking at his clock. It's around 4 in the morning. So he has some time to train before school. As he decides to go outside into the gravity chamber, immediately cranking up to 120 and pushing himself up to 150, as he would do so this morning. Whenever he does that, All Might, he would wake up probably an hour or two later hearing that the machine is on. Walking out there to see that Deku, he's training very intensely. In fact, he looks like he's trying to burn off some stress. Whenever All Might would walk in, he would stay out of the gravity field, but he's just at the door, asking Deku if everything's alright. To which he would just respond with, "Not really. When are those things David's sending over going to be in?" "Well, actually, he's working on them today. He might be able to send them over. If not, tomorrow. But even then, we'll get them in before the end of the week." "Okay, because the nightmares are getting worse." "Ah, I see. How did they get worse?" "Well, it's not just Mom anymore. It's Todoroki." "Ah, I see. Well, listen. If it's any consolation, well, I'm not even the best at this stuff. The life of a hero is a hard one. I do hope you understand that. Now, if you would like to talk about it more, we can. We have some time before school." To which Deku and All Might will be talking for 10 minutes. Before All Might tells Deku to go shower, and to start heading to school. Now, Deku would listen, for once, as this would happen. Now, All Might, he is not heading straight for UA. In fact, he got a call from Sir Night-Eye that there are villains heading to this location, and they might actually be causing a disturbance. Now, All Might, he would be handling that situation, as he will go across town. Now then, Deku, on the other hand, he would arrive at school, and he would have gotten his hero uniform basically remade, or retailored, as you can say. Now, so did Todoroki, as she was actually able to get her, she got her sports festival uniform, she got it modified so that it will have heat resistance, and or at least be fireproof. Her hero costume already was in the event that she would have used her quirk. Now, with that being said, Deku and her, they're just waiting for the bus, as so is everyone else. They're supposed to be going to the USJ today. Now, this is whenever Deku, he would see that she's just kind of fumbling with something, holding a small fireball in her hand. Now, Deku would just ask her exactly what's up, because she doesn't really seem certain about anything. As they would all pack onto the bus, her still holding this small fireball. As people just start asking and, talking about their quirks. Deku, he's kind of getting questions, but he's trying to focus on Todoroki right now. As he would ask her exactly what's wrong. To where she would say that she feels like she's kind of betraying herself using this. She's tried, throwing it aside for so long, but even then, it's weird. This is all new to her. The fire. I've thought about using it before, but now that I'm actually doing it, it's weird. I mean, of course it's going to be weird. You haven't really used your quirk before, remember? Well, actually, I kind of used to use it when I was little. I thought it was great and amazing and cool, but then everything happened. Oh. Well, I get it. Now, people have kind of just been listening to this story, and they kind of want to know where it went. But Aizawa would have interrupted them, saying that they're here and that they need to all get ready. This is going to be a very hard challenge. Now, they would all walk out of the bus as they get ready. 13 would just introduce herself, and Yuraka would be fangirling. Deku knows who this is, but he kinda doesn't really pay attention to heroes. He kinda has his thoughts preoccupied right now. Now, with that being said, 13 would be going over about how quirks are, heroic and villainous. It's just about how you use it. Now then. And with that is whenever the League of Villains, they would arrive. As they have some priority targets. All Might. And, if they can, to capture All Might's kid. Now, with that being said, let's continue. Aizawa, he would watch as the League arrives, and he immediately jumps into action, telling Midoriya that he needs to stay here and keep everyone safe. But Deku, he kinda wouldn't pay attention. Neither would Todoroki or Bakugo, as these three would try and rush in. Bakugo, he just thinks that he's not going to be left behind in all the action, so better take it into my own hands. While Todoroki, she would have tried putting her leg down in front of her and blasting out as much eyes forward, to at least capture the villains, which would have immediately prompted Kirigiri to use his quirk, and teleport them all away, as he would summon the Nomu. While that's happening, this is where Deku and Todoroki, they would both be falling from the sky. As Deku, he sees this. He's looking around as he tries reaching out for Todoroki, trying to get to her, as he activates one for all in his foot, and he flicks his toe. As soon as that happens, his shoe would go bursting off, and he would go flying forward, as he's able to grab Todoroki and begin to roll with her, as the two would smash into the water. Deku, he would have been able to get his bearings as Todoroki should have started freezing the ice, or at least creating ice out of the water. The villains would try surrounding them, but they're a bit busy, trying not to fall into hibernation or drowning, since, well, they're all aquatic. Now, they're also trying to be busy not getting stuck in the ice, so they're trying to swim away, as these two would make a path straight for the boat, and get on, as Sue is there. She would help both these two on as they all try and devise a plan. Deku, he's just trying to make sure that his leg's okay, and he would see that he's just missing a shoe, and, well, his toe looks to be fine, so it's nothing to worry about. Now, that is where Sue would try coming up with a plan, as Deku has his own, saying that he can launch off and get them closer to shore. Other than that, he can only see him while pushing the boat, or Todoroki trying to use her ice to get them away to shore. Now, Asui's not really sure about this, so she would just explain that that's a bit risky. If Midoriya can get them to shore, then that sounds fine. As Deku would hold out his hands. He would hold Todoroki in one hand as he's holding Sue in the other, as he gets ready, bending his knees and immediately launching off. As Todoroki's a bit, about the whole situation. She understands it, but she's just waiting for them to get back there, so they can help Aizawa. This is a bit more important. As he would land closer to shore, Deku, he would have set Sue down, then Todoroki, as the two are looking around for Aizawa. They are a bit too busy looking for him, however, since the decay guy, he is directly in front of them. and he's reaching out his hand to try and decay Todoroki this time. Deku would have turned to see that, as he would immediately just do one thing. Charging up one for all in his hand, he would have thrown it outward forward as he hit Shigaraki in his wrist, and sent a shockwave straight up into the air, blowing the roof off the top of the USJ, which would attract Principal Nezu's attention. Now, as that happens, the Nomu would have come running over, in an attempt to protect Shigaraki. As the Nomu would do one thing. It would be ordered to kill that kid, as Todoroki would start blasting fire at it, the Nomu barely responding. Now, Deku here ran forward, sliding underneath its legs as he tries to attack it from behind and actually throw punches into its back. That, however, is not working. And there's a different situation. The thing would turn around and try and throw its arm forward towards Deku. Deku, he only used one for all in that, attack, so he needs to use his own quirk, as he would somewhat move backwards and dodge the punch, saying Kaioken, as he brings himself up to times 10, immediately lunging forward. Well, Shigaraki just thinks one thing. Kaio what? As Deku throws a punch directly into the Nomu's chest. His arm doesn't break, but he can clearly feel strain on it. He was able to actually get one of the bursts of strength into that punch, so it actually did increase. The Nomu, however, it at least did slide back 2 to 3 feet. Now, Shigaraki, he would have actually been caught in the shockwave, getting sent flying. Kirigiri going to help him. Now, with that happening, Deku, he has a plan, telling Todoroki that she needs to use her quirk. Freeze the Nomu and I can try and attack it. Disable it and we can get it, as the two would begin to fight with it. Sue trying to at least stay out of the way. Now, Deku, he's trying to throw punches and actually fight with the Nomu. It keeps swinging punches and throwing them around, as it gets told to do something else. It's getting covered in so much ice that your generation is having a bit of trouble, as it gets redirected to attack the girl with a scar. Now, Deku would have heard this as he would immediately turn to Shigaraki, seeing that he's somewhat just not doing anything. He thinks that he can go after him right now, but if he does, then shit. As he uses one for all, moving as fast as possible, sliding under its legs and immediately turning around, going to throw a punch at the Nomu, as these two would collide fists. Deku's arm, he can feel the strain on it, as he throws out his other one, smashing into the Nomu, as he is tired. As soon as that happens, Todoroki should have grabbed Deku, and immediately just slide backwards on ice, as they are on an ice rink now. Most of the water is frozen, and some of it that isn't, it's now being frozen. So, they just need to be careful with this. Now, Deku, he's trying to keep his focus, but it's kind of hard to stay calm. He needs to make sure everyone's okay. Damn it. Now, while that's happening, Nezu, he is trying to get together every other hero that he can possibly get for UA. And he's sending them over to the USJ right now. Now, Deku, he is ready, as he's thinking he needs to... Shit. This is gonna hurt, as he would do one thing. Sitting back on his feet, going up to Kaioken times 10, and immediately charging up one for all, as his body goes from this to this, as his Kaioken goes to a deeper red. It looks more intense and wild, along with the heat coming off of his body. He's actually beginning to melt some of the ice underneath him, as he would immediately just jump forward, breaking the ice underneath him and charging straight at the Nomu, as he would throw a hefty left hook, slamming it upwards in the face, as the Nomu, you can just see the shockwave come off of it, but nothing happens, as it would have countered by grabbing Deku by his arm and beginning to just start smashing him into the ground. Deku, he's trying to get control over it, as he's trying to at least bring his leg up to wrap it around the arm. The Nomu, however, does not really give a fuck, and he just keeps trying to smash him over and over again and actually trying to bury him in the ice. Todoroki is just trying to keep the, ground solid. However, that's very difficult, as she would have brought out her left foot and immediately start encasing the Nomu's legs. As she would have ran forward, immediately just kicking into one. As she would have done so, she would have actually broken it. As the Nomu would go falling downward and smash into the water. It is still holding on to Deku, however, so she would begin by trying to grab Deku and freezing the Nomu's arm. She keeps it up very intensely as the Nomu swings at his other arm. It basically punches at its own elbow, breaking it off, but in the process hitting Todoroki, as she gets sent flying across the ice. Deku, he would have been very angry, as he would have turned, immediately grabbing the Nomu by the face and just punching it as hard as possible. Except he has an idea. He looks down and immediately just brings his hands upwards, smashing them into the water, as the ground becomes unsteady and begins to crack apart, the Nomu falling in completely. He just thinks that this thing, it can't swim, right? Let's hope so. As he would get and run over to Todoroki, dropping out of the form for a second. He would have seen that she's going to be okay. Okay. Shit. What now? As she would somewhat shake off her concussion, telling him to watch out. As Deku, he would turn around. He sees the Nomu as it brings its hand upwards, and Deku immediately brings his hands up blocking. As he shouts Kaioken. Before he can even really turn on his power, this is whenever he gets sent flying with a punch. As he goes flying through the air and smashes into a wall. Now, a lot of people can hear that, but only very few saw it, since they're seeing a red blur. Now, with that, Deku, he would fall to the ground, as he tries to stand back up, turning on One for All, as he can hear a voice. You really think you can do this, hero? As he would look up. He looks to his left and he has his eyes widen, as he sees the man in the mask who's haunted him for so long. You really think that you can protect people here? Really? You're not even sure exactly what to do. You're just flailing angrily like a child. Exactly what is your plan? As Deku would have stood up and immediately throw a punch forward at him. As he just goes straight through him. What? Huh, really? You are crazy. I'm just a figment of your imagination, can't you tell? No, you're not. I know you're real. Well, whether I'm real or not, that girl down there is gonna die. So, tick-tock, hero. As Deku would have gotten annoyed, closing his eyes and turning around, as he would look back in front of him. The man is gone. Shit. As Deku would begin running. He goes up to Kaioken times 30 and boosts his 10% of One for All to 20. As something unexpected would happen. He's moving so fast, he doesn't feel his feet underneath him, as he would come charging in, smashing into the Nomu with both of his hands, as he begins to barrel it into the ground, as he was able to get it away from Todoroki. Now, Deku would have then just been throwing as much force as possible at the Nomu, as he boosts himself up to a high percentage, dangerously high, as each punch Deku throws is producing a shockwave and actually hurting his arms. As each time Deku throws one, you can see blood flowing around, and he's not paying attention to this. He's completely ignoring the pain, as many muscle fibers as you can think of are rupturing and popping inside his body. As Deku, he would have sent a solid punch, actually sending the Nomu somewhat flying, at least across the USJ. As Deku, he's panting very heavily, and he is about to pass out, as he just falls backwards, and he gets floating. Huh? Todoroki, she would run over to him as she would grab his body, trying to at least cover and freeze the areas that are, well, bleeding. He's burning up. She doesn't even know what's happening. He's running a fever. Now, before anything else can happen, All Might would arrive. As he would burst through the door, and he's pissed the hell off. He wouldn't even take his time ripping off the tie. He would have just walked down, saying that they have some nerve messing with his family, let alone coming here, as he would begin blitzing everyone and just taking them all out in solid punches, as he would see that this entire area of ice is frozen, and there's 2 people down there. He would have ran over to see that it's Todoroki and Deku, as most of Deku's body is covered in ice, and he's hyperventilating, trying to keep his breath steady, but that is not happening. All Might would have just asked what happened, and she would try giving a rundown. That thing over there is a monster. He tried to protect us. But something's wrong. As All Might would have just nodded, saying to take him to the exit now. Where's Aizawa? As another student would come walking onto the ice. Let's say, I was going to say Floppy, but let's say it's... Yeah, let's say it's Momo. She would come walking onto the ice, and she would just say that Aizawa's hurt. She was able to help him get him patched up and everything, but, well, he needs medical attention now. As All Might would just nod, running in and actually fighting against the Nomu. Now, Momo would try and help Todoroki, but she sees that anytime Todoroki takes off pressure of Deku, his body just starts floating. What? Uraka's not anywhere nearby, is she? No, I'm not sure where she is, but this just started happening. Now, with that being said, All Might, he would have sent the Nomu flying in very few punches. He may be close to out of his prime, but he is still healed. So he's able to access around 75 to around 95% of his power, being able to just dominate the Nomu, as Shigaraki and the rest of the league would leave, thinking that All Might's kids at least, well, heavily injured, so he might not make it. So they'll at least piss off the hero. Now, with that being said, Deku would be taken to Recover Girl, as she would see the immense damage he did to his body, and try and heal him as much as possible. However, his body, she does need to cover it in bandages, as most of Deku's torso and lower body are covered. Now then, with that being said, Deku, he's still running a very high fever, which Recover Girl's not even sure how he's able to do this. It might be a side effect of his quirk, but it's just, he might be just sick. Now, she would start telling All Might that he just needs to let him rest for a while. And he kinda can't be moved, since this might harm his body more than doing it good. As Todoroki would stay with Deku for a couple of hours. Well, Deku, he's having his nightmare. Except now it's of what happened, and the events are different. As he would wake up hours later. As soon as he wakes up, he tries to move, but he just feels immense pain, as he somewhat begins to start coughing. That would have woken Todoroki up, as she would have told him that he needs to stay calm, and to just not move. You... you did a good job. You protected us. You stopped the Nomu. Well, did I? It's kind of fuzzy. Well, you held it off before your dad came. Oh. Okay, good. What happened? Well, after you kinda sent it flying, it kinda... You passed out, but that's not even the weirdest part. You started to float. What? As two people would walk in. All Might and Endeavor. Endeavor, he would just say one thing. The boy did a good job. But that's not what I'm here for. Todoroki, you must be properly trained on how to use your fire. I saw the footage. I'm very happy you're done with your little rebellion. Now, please, let's go. As Endeavor would just, try and motion for the door. As All Might would just tell him to hang on. They need to have a conversation. Or, he needs to have a conversation with his son. And after that, they may leave. As Todoroki would be defiant, saying that she's not leaving him here. Now, Endeavor, he would just talk with All Might as the two keep going back and forth. Eventually, Endeavor would walk out of the room, as All Might would close the door, asking exactly how did he start floating? Or when did he use it? How? What? Son, you're able to use my master's form of quirk. What? Yes, apparently you can float? Oh, okay. That's cool? Well, I mean, actually, it seems like you were, One for All may have gathered that much power now. What? As All Might would explain. And Todoroki's a bit confused, as All Might's just asking, thinking why is she looking at him funny. To which Deku would turn saying that is why that's why he calls it his father's power. As she would just start nodding. Okay. So, he gave you his quirk? Literally. Yeah. Now, Deku, he would just say that, as All Might, he kinda dropped the ball on that one. He thought that since they were dating for so long, he actually told her already. So, that was kind of on him. Now, Todoroki, she would give Deku a kiss, as she tells him that she'll see him later. Actually, she'll try coming by tomorrow if he feels better. Okay? As Deku, he would just say, alright. And she would leave. Now, All Might, he's kinda confused as to how this is even possible. Asking Deku if he's been having dreams, or visions of his master. To which he would say no. Actually, this morning, I had a weird dream, though. It was... Yes, you told me it was of the monsters, and the strange lady? Yeah, she had gloves on, a cape, and as Deku would described on a Shimura. All Might kinda getting it now. As Deku would also say that he saw the man in the mask at the USJ. Although, apparently he wasn't there. He said that he was a figment of my imagination. No, son, that's not possible. Well, I'm not sure what is anymore. But, now, Deku, he would kinda just tell his dad that he has a journal that has drawings, pictures, and things from his dream that he's seen from the villain. But he's kinda just been, throwing out random ideas in there. So, if you can give me my backpack and look through it, you'll see it. The key, it should be in the corner, well, in the smaller pouch. All Might actually unlocking it and finding the key as he would flip through this, seeing that Deku has quite a lot of details about this villain, or theories about it. This is a quirk, a family curse, or something different. Now, that is going to be where I leave this part off of, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day.